Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello guys, welcome to our show. Today we discuss about content trend optimization, rate optimization, because it's very important when you pay attention to this metric, because sometimes you can double your sales. It's not only traffic, it's more about how you can monetize this traffic, because sales are fuel and you can get a lot more budget for creating new content. And I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Marc Uitterhoeve.
Thank you. No, your pronunciation is one of the better ones. It's a very complicated last name.
Okay, Marc, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and please pronounce one more time for our audience your second name.
So for everyone that's interested and want to try it at home, my last name is pronounced as Uitterhoeve, which is a Dutch surname. That's also where I'm from. I'm from the Netherlands and currently living in Malta, where the founder of our company, Dexter Agency, has actually reeled me into, because he wanted to build the company there in this island. Actually, right now we're a remote team with people across the world, like the US, Mexico, the Philippines, Spain, you name it. But yeah, I started in the CRO business around, I think 6 years ago by now, and started working under Joris Brion, who is the founder of the company and also a best-selling author with his book, Kill Your Conversion Killers. And the thing is, back then, CRO wasn't a big thing. A lot of people didn't know what it was. And actually, when I read about it and got into the topic, I got excited, because this was actually what I was missing while I was working in digital marketing, about a systematic approach, a procedure that actually is data driven, and that can actually show you, hey, the changes that I'm making on my website are actually good improvements, or even better, this change that I want to make is actually would cost me money, so better not do it. So that really opened my eyes and got me working there with full enthusiasm. Currently, I'm now the CEO of the company. Joris Brion has done a step back. He's on sabbatical, and I'm now leading a team of, I think we're around 10 people who are total enthusiasts in the CRO business to optimize everyone's website.
Nice. Awesome. I love it. Love your experience. Okay, let's talk more about CRO. Once I spoke with a webmaster who told me he lost 400,000 traffic because Google dropped ranking positions for his website, but he didn't lose any sales. So he got a lot of traffic without sales. Can you tell how to unite content strategy with customer journey, buying persona? Because I see when people chase high volume keywords, when they create content that are related to their keywords, but it doesn't mean that you can sell by covering these keywords. And it's the same in paid marketing, when someone can set up marketing campaigns on Google, Facebook, but yeah, they get traffic, it costs a lot, then they can't sell and leave it. Any insights about covering your marketing message, landing page, and buying persona?
Yeah, so there are so many factors here at play when you have a e-commerce store or any other website, really. And the thing is that what's often missing is the coherent message. I think that's something that's really important. People have an SEO strategy, they have paid traffic, they have other content that they put anywhere else, they have landing pages. And what's important there is to have one message that if I see, for example, in your search results or in your paid ad, that you're talking about an easy to use software, that if I am on your page, on your landing page, that I at least also see this is easy to use. I think that's what's super important. But also when you mentioned that this person lost a lot of traffic, but his sales didn't really decline, it also probably shows how much bad traffic or low quality traffic that was going to the site. And I think that's happening a lot nowadays, where people want to scale up their traffic in order to grow their business. It's getting more and more challenging to get quality traffic to your website, because first of all, with your current ads, you're already getting the most quality that there is, and the more you spend, the more you go into broader keywords that maybe are less specific to what you're doing, and so each visitor becomes less profitable. And that's why your content and your flow and knowing your personas, your buyer personas, is so important, because then on your website, that's where the magic happens, right? You can get them to your site, but like, they don't buy it, right? You need your copy, you need your product, you need your flow to work as good as possible to actually make them convert. And then each visitor becomes more profitable, and it actually allows you to use that extra profit that you're making to actually spend again on traffic to keep on growing. Like, it's a bit of a cycle, and it doesn't stop with putting people on your site. It only begins there. You need to actually make them purchase in order for you to be able to get a profit, to get more out of your users, so you can actually spend more on acquiring new users.
Yeah, love it. Okay, let's talk about how to optimize a landing page. Because I see when some companies, they usually replicate competitors, but many competitors highlight their strong sides or unique selling proposition. It's not a good idea just to replicate. You need to know your strong side, your unique selling proposition. Don't copy them, to find a much better way. And the second problem, when I see companies try to replicate big brands, for example, Amazon. Everyone knows Amazon, but Amazon sells a billion products, a lot of products. And of course, I can open Amazon product page and I can find almost anything, on product page, reviews,
Yes.
video, description, anything. But it's hard to consume. I think Amazon customers know this structure. They know how this content looks, and Amazon sells a billion products. If you don't sell a billion products, it's better for me to learn from Apple. When you open apple.com, you only see iPhone, because iPhone is a best-selling product, 40-50% of all sales. And Apple doesn't try to sell AirPod, MacBook, Apple Watch, iTunes, many other stuff, just Apple iPhone. Can you tell how to learn from big brands, how to learn from your competition, but consider your strong side and unique selling proposition?
Yeah, you're touching on a very important point here. There are two things, like copying your competitor and looking at big brands. And the problem with copying your competitor is that you don't know if they know what they're doing, right? They often assume like, oh, but I know my competitor does A/B testing, so it's probably good. They probably have tested this, so let's just copy that. But I know from firsthand experience that often even our clients, they just implement something because either their manager wants it or the boss wants it, or there's something political going on in the organization and they need to do it, and it's not even tested, so they even don't know if it works or not. So that's also very challenging. And also, even like if you copy it like exactly, what are you going to do? You can only differentiate yourself on pricing then if you're totally copying your competitor, and that's always very challenging, because then you get a price war and your profits get so low that you're struggling making money. So that's never a good thing. You need to get something unique, and it can be something about your product that actually is different from the rest. It could also be something that your company is doing very well. For example, if you sell furniture, what can be a strong asset is fast delivery, because furniture usually takes very long time, or the returns process is being made very easily, because it's always difficult to return big items. Have a good after sales service. Try in that aspect to differentiate yourself from your competitor. That will make you also able to target your audience better, and to align your messaging with that. It's just so much better. And looking at bigger companies, the problem there is everyone knows Amazon, right? Everyone is familiar with it, so they know how they use it. And if they don't, then it's Amazon. They know they've bought from there before. They might have changed something, but they know, yeah, I bought from Amazon before. I know the experience. They are willing to learn that any new thing that Amazon changes in their flow, and that is just the luxury that a lot of companies don't have. So you can also even copy Apple, but Apple already has a brand. So whatever they do now might also just be because it's Apple, and people will already be like, oh, wow, yeah, cool, great that they do this. But if you do it as more of a beginner or an unknown brand, it might not resonate with your audience. So be very careful. You can, of course, get ideas from your competitors and from big brands, but test them, see if they work for you or not, because you can't just copy someone else's success formula.
Yeah, agree. You mentioned a few times about your audience. I usually track how many times you can pronounce some words, and you did it probably 3-4 times. And I lost my track after that. So, can you tell how to learn your audience? Because I think today the era of lazy marketers is that you can't use the average data from tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, many others. They are great tools, but you can't use this data to learn your audience. And I found big companies can learn, including Google, including many others. They talk to their audience to learn what's going on. They have data, a lot of data, but they often speak with the audience in order to learn their pain points, to understand how to decide all this issue. Can you tell how to do it? How, for example, to learn? Because it's a big issue. Many companies, they just, as we mentioned, copy competitors, take the average data, but don't care a lot about real customers. Any insights how to do it right?
Yeah, the reason why it's so difficult is because it's often so time consuming. Right? If you can plug in an app, if you can just install a tracking code and that tracks all kinds of data, that's easy. And you just analyze it and you know the average time on your site, you know how often they clicked on something. But do you really know who that customer is on the other side? And if you're very small, if you're just beginning, then the best way to do it is just reach out to them. Like email them. Can I have a call with you? Can I talk with you? A lot of success stories start like that actually owners call, reach out to their customers. Of course, they ask for approval. You don't need to arrest them, but you can get so much valuable insight. And you might even realize that they buy a product for a different reason that you intended it to. The bigger you get, the more you can, for example, use surveys. And you'll say like, oh, not a lot of people respond. But that's okay. If 2,000 people buy from you, then if 10% fills it out, you already have a lot of responses. This is qualitative data. Even if 5% only fills it out, like give them, of course, an incentive that will help. But it's qualitative data. So every response that you get is valuable. But it just takes time to analyze. But I can give you an example of why this is so important, because this is, I think, 2 years ago, we were talking with this company who were selling hangover cures, kind of. So if you just had a rough night, you had a lot to drink, then the next morning you took that drink and you were energized, you felt a lot better. And they targeted students, the younger demographic, because they go party, they have hangovers. And what they actually realized is when they started to interact with their customers is that the majority of the customers, and also the most loyal ones, were actually businessmen, businesswomen. Business people were just buying their product because what's happening is that they have very busy lives. They work till very late. And the next morning they were just so tired, but they needed to work again. And they used their drink to get that kick and to get to work again. And then they were like, oh, wow, that changes the whole strategy that you need to do. A new different kind of approach to reach that demographic, that customer. That opened a lot more possibilities for them to grow.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I think it takes time, but if you spend time to learn to get this data. By the way, I have the question about getting more data than you need. It's interesting. Once I watched an interview with Jeff Bezos, and someone shared a story when a research team brought a lot of data about a new product that was Alexa, and told and asked him, we need more time. to learn about this product, to learn about customers, how we can decide their problems. And he denied. He told, no way, nobody knows. We need to test, we need to analyze. We have enough data. So, and once I spoke with a data expert, and he told me it's a big issue when companies get more data. It's like over data than they need, because when you share a lot of tips, recommendations, people might confuse what to do, where to pay attention, and 60% of all recommendations are ignored. And we need to test. Sometimes we need to listen to our intuition, because we have experience, we know how things work. And I found many influencers, they don't care a lot about data. They have experience to understand the audience, like intuition, and then use many different tests, experiments. So can you tell how to find the balance between getting data and over data, and to do something, then keep learning?
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting aspect, because I think it was with Ford who said, like, if people have asked me back in the day what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, but not cars, because the concept of a car didn't exist. So there are visionaries that actually know what people want before the people even know what they want, right? And they can go with their intuition, and they hit the spot. Unfortunately, that's only a few that have that gift, I would say. A lot of people don't have that. And I think that there are two problems with data. Either you don't have enough data, or you have too much data. And to go into the too much data, what you talked about is that if you have so much, then you have a big chance that you're starting to focus on the wrong things. What you always need to have in mind is, like, what is my goal here? What do I want to achieve, right? For most e-commerce stores or website, it's more revenue or more clients or more leads. Like, that's your main goal. But what are the secondary goals that lead up to that goal, right? That's maybe sign up to our newsletter. It may be like adding product to the cart. Like, and identify your secondary goals, connect it to a KPI, and measure those. And then you can monitor that. And those will actually help you decide if you're making progress, yes or no. And all the other things that you can track, it's nice to have, because you have a feeling like, if I have all the data that I can have, then at least, I'm safe. But actually, you have a problem that you might focus on the wrong things and actually lose your goals out of sight. So yeah, there's the curse of knowing too much or having too much data. And for the lucky ones, they can use their intuition. I wish I was one of those. I think Joris, our founder, is more one who is on the visionary side of it. I am one more that's data driven and like to focus on data, what it tells me, and how to make solid business decisions based on that.
Nice. Okay. I open your LinkedIn profile because I like to open LinkedIn profiles, and I found that you share a lot of numbers. I think customers love numbers. For example, let me read from your profile. 7 and 8-figure online store owners unlock at least 500,000 in additional early revenue in under 90 days. Can you explain how to do it? Of course, I want an extra $500,000. So, any insights how to do it?
Yeah, so of course this doesn't. It's not something that we just thought of one day and we're like, hey, let's just promise this and let's see whether it happens. Now like I said, we've doing this for like 7 years, and what we realized is, because we've done it so often, we like optimized our research process, because there's no magic behind it. It is all just work and iterate on what you're doing and optimize also ourselves. Like, we're not optimizing someone else's website. We're also optimizing our own processes. And so we have this research method that allows us to find a lot of opportunities. And based on our experience and objective scoring that we also do, we can make sure that we start with the tests that have the most potential to win and bring most revenue to the client. So when we put our own data and we analyzed together, when we analyzed that, we realized that for all of our clients, what we were able to do is to find at least $500,000 in extra revenue within the first 90 days. So we were like, all right, a lot of people have been burned by previous agencies who promised them a lot and didn't deliver. Now, that makes it very difficult for them to trust us, because why would we be able to do what we say we do? So we were like, all right, we make it a guarantee, right? So they come to us, we promise them that if we don't aren't able to do that, then then they don't pay us. Simple as that. And we can do that because we have data supporting us that we never have failed to reach that goal.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, guys, you need to understand. So let's try. You don't lose anything with that. Okay. Mark, I have the question about new projects. For example, if I start something new, I have no data, I have no customers, I don't know how to learn about my future customers. So what to do, how to get this data, and how to set up the right message when it's completely from zero?
Yeah, very good question. First, what you need to do is you need to realize if there's a product fit. So you need to know, are people actually looking for the service or product that you're offering? Because if not, then just don't start with that and do something else. So do research, and that means just, I don't know, go to a shopping mall, go to your family and friends, try to find a way to identify if there is a need for your product or service, what you're offering. So if you know that, and if you do that research, you also are getting feedback from those people. And you know, okay, this is actually why they would like it, or this is why they might not want to buy or do it. So you'll have also immediately the pros and cons of your product or your service. So you know, hey, this is what I need to use in my copy to motivate people to buy or my service or product. And this is what I need to write in my copy to counter the objections that people might have. So it is just a lot of hard work in the beginning that you need to go out there and see, are people waiting for my product? Do they even want it? Do they need it? And then you can use that insights to at least start with your copy. And from there on, you can build on. And there is, of course, nowadays, with a lot of templates that there are like very bad websites. They are like a dying breed, right? You know, especially with Shopify, there are a lot of templates that do already good job for your basis, to have a solid base where you can at least have a decent website that people can understand. And so you can already have that to build your website, have your content there. And from then on, once you start creating traction, you can start optimize. But again, begin with just a lot of manual hard work to identify if there is a need and what the motivation would be for people to buy and what their objections would be.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's talk more about a bad website. You know, for example, you know, if I see a picture for $10 million or $50 million, personally, I don't understand why why this picture can cost such crazy money. You know, I can pay like $100, not more, because I'm not good with painting. It's not my passion about art, and I see some websites that look bad, nothing special, but they convert a lot. They are working good. Some websites, webmasters can spend so much money, you know, to create nice looking design. Everything looks good, but it doesn't convert. So can you tell about how do I know it's a bad website or a good website? Because you mentioned about bad website. Any insights how to measure this quality?
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because I remember that we, a couple of years ago, acquired a client and we saw the website and we were like, oh, it looks like it was made in 1994. Like, how bad is this? And we were actually doing user testing, letting users go to the site. And they actually also said like, oh my goodness, this is an ugly site. But what they also almost everyone said, oh, but it was very easy to find the product. And it was very easy to see the specifications and what's good about it. And yeah, the whole experience was easy for them. And it actually showed, okay, it can be ugly, but if people can easily find what they need, if they understand your product, if all their questions are answered, then it can be ugly, but that's not a reason not to buy. I think what's often underrated is copy. Like, copy is so important. You can have the best looking website that there is. It can be like state of the art. It can be what a lot of people want, innovative, right? I have the website that's different than the rest. But if people don't understand what your product or service does, or why they should buy it, why it's better than another product or service, then you're going to struggle anyway. So I think the biggest wins that we also have with our A/B test is about copy. That it's clear to people why they should buy the product, why it would benefit them, and why not to buy from a competitor. I think that's the main goal. And the reason to discover how your site is performing is just looking at analytics, and you can see, hey, we have a good-looking website, but a lot of people bounce from our product pages. Like we have very difficulty to retain the people. So we need to work at that. Or we see that, hey, a lot of people, they drop off in the first page of the checkout. That's something that we just need to tackle. We need to optimize that process. That's where Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics or whatever analytics tool you use is super important to identify where your leaks are. And then you also know where you need to start improving it.
Yeah, guys, if you wanna criticize some websites, open Craigslist. You can criticize the whole day, but you can't criticize their success. They have 100 million people.
Personally, like my personal opinion of Amazon is I don't like that site. Like I don't like how to find products. I don't like that product page. It's too overwhelming. But yeah, I bought a couple of times from Amazon. I can't ignore the fact that I did. So they do something right.
Yeah. I think it depends on audience. I remember MySpace. After redesign, they lost a lot of traffic, and redesign has, this redesign had the goal to simplify experience. But people have habits by using something. If they have habits to use this structure, so it's hard to teach them about the new structure. And I found Google, when they change some tools, they tell their audience, we are going to implement a new design in an year. So you have an year to learn about new design. It takes time because most users are not advanced. Advanced users can do it for a few hours. Just open, learn. But 87% of users are not. They need more time. And sometimes an year, it's not enough for many users. For example, about GA4. I know many webmasters, great webmasters, didn't start to learn about this tool. So they will in the last day when they have no other options, or probably when deadline will off. So yeah, many. And Craigslist, I think Craigslist has success because it's simple to use, and customers, users know how to use, and they can make redesign, but they don't need it, because it's simple, it's not hard. You can find what you need on this website, and for me, it's more important context than nice looking design. We remember like Google Plus failed to get results. That was simple, interesting idea, nice features, but nobody wanted to change habits and structure like Facebook. They know how Facebook works. So yeah, that's why, for example, TikTok. If you open TikTok, when I found TikTok the first time, that was simple. I don't need to register. I just set up the app and I can switch, watch all these great videos, So simple, nothing special. Zoom. I remember when someone told me about Zoom, let's have a meeting on Zoom years ago. And I told, I have no time. I many things to do. And I got reply, no, you don't need time. Just open this link. That's it. You don't need to register. You don't need to set up. Simple, So yeah, that's why simplicity. Can you tell how to simplify content? For example, if I create a landing page and I need to cut some fluff, less necessary information, but I see when webmasters don't know what is necessary, what don't. So can you tell how to choose priorities and simplify content?
Yeah, sure. And I want to also quickly touch upon what you said before about redesigns. I think there was this example of years ago of Marks and Spencer who did a redesign, and they paid actually, I think, $2 million. an insane amount. I think no one should pay like millions for a redesign, but they did that, and actually their conversion rate decreased. So often redesigns are also done for the wrong reasons. It's because people are thinking like, hey, my site is old, like I've seen it now, let me just update it. But for your returning customers, they are used to your site. They know where to find everything. They're very comfortable with it. So, for example, with MySpace, those people, they were returning people that they were already on MySpace, and suddenly stuff changed and they have to relearn again. And what you sometimes forget is that the new people that see it for the first time, for them it's not old. Like they see it for the first time. They are not like, oh, I've seen that homepage for a number of times, because no, it's the first time. So really think about, why are you going to do this redesign? Like, for example, Google, what you said with Google Analytics 4, they are like, it's not just a redesign, it's a whole replatforming, because they also have a different structure in measuring the data now. So they had to like change everything. It's not just because they wanted to give it a new look. No, the whole structure behind it is different. And that is a reason to change your website. If your technology is not sufficient anymore, or if you just have bottlenecks that you cannot like remove without like redesigning your website. So do it for the right reasons, and not just because you are bored from your own site. But if you need to know how to simplify things, how to simplify landing pages, what you need to think of is, okay, what is necessary? And what is often necessary is for people to understand your product, and they also need to know why they should buy it, and also why they should trust you. And you can have a lot of things going on. One thing that I, for example, recently had a discussion about with a client was a 360 view for clothing. And I'm like, is that a necessity for clothing? Like, you have a photo of the front, you have a photo of the back. That says enough. I think for people, it's more interesting to see a close-up of the material, because you cannot touch it. It's online. You cannot feel the texture of the product. But if you have a close-up, you can, like, if it's satin and you can just see the shine of the satin, like you can almost feel it on your body. That's so much more powerful than a 360 view. And I think that's often the problem with these pages, that there are so many things added because, hey, that's cool. What people also bought, that's what they put on the landing page. Well, if I am going to buy a laptop, I will not always be interested in what other people buy, especially since those suggestions are often not relevant. It's based on an algorithm, but the websites aren't as big as Amazon, that these algorithms have so much data that's actually relevant. So I had once an experience where with the laptop, I saw other people also bought my laptop that I was looking at, another laptop and a TV. But I never buy 2 laptops and a TV on a day, and I think no one does. That's very rare. Like, make sure that everything that you have is relevant. Buying an external mouse with your laptop, that is relevant. That can be on your landing page. But focus on what is your product about? What are the specifications? What do people need to know? They need to maybe to know about shipping, but they probably won't need to know about another product that you're selling, right? So make it as specific as possible, and you can always test adding other stuff later on, but start with the essential.
Yeah, awesome, valuable. Okay, I'm interested about mistakes. In my life, I made a lot of mistakes. I keep doing them.
Me too. How to stop making mistakes? I don't know.
I remember Elon Musk told about mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not innovative enough. So yeah, it's part of the process. Shaquille O'Neal once replied to this question about mistakes. He told if he starts something new, he always makes mistakes, but it's the way to keep learning about something new. So to think how to test, adapt, and go ahead. So he doesn't feel it's mistakes are mistakes. He feels like learning, education. Okay, and some mistakes cost money, a lot of money. For example, 10 years ago when I set up Google Ads, I paid like 5-10 cents per click. So I got traffic, sales, everything was fine. Today I need to pay $5-10 per click, and I found that many companies can lose money by setting their own metrics, creating their own design, and it's not like to lose $100 or $1,000. They can lose $100,000, with their own metrics. Can you tell or list common mistakes that companies do, and your tips how to find a much better way?
Yeah, so what if I look at conversion rate optimization? I think the most common mistake is that there's often focus on finding winners, and companies they want you to find as many winners as you can so that they can grow their website. And I think what a common mistake, or at least a misconception, is that there are often things being implemented without them knowing what the result is of the implementation. So even our own clients, they sometimes implement something without telling us, and we're like, do you know what the effect of it is? Because CRO is not only about finding winners, it's also preventing losers, like preventing something that hurts your site. And I think that's often a mistake that's being made, that if you don't know that your change or implementation has a certain effect, and what that effect is, that you might just like cancel out the winner that you just had. Maybe we had a great winner and we implemented it, and it will give you like 1 million or more a year. But if you install this app that actually will hurt your website, then you just undo every optimization that you made. So I think that's very important, that companies also understand that CRO is also about making solid business decisions, right? Is it the correct way to do this? Is it the correct way to go forward with this? And besides, that's also a good way to determine what do you have on your site, if that's valuable. Like, we have tested certain tools and they weren't bad, but we also figured out that they weren't adding any extra value. So we're like, okay, it's not costing you money, but you're paying for the tool. So if you stop using the tool, your conversion rate won't decrease, your average order value won't decrease, but you'll at least you'll save on the expenses of that tool. So it's all about understanding all the aspects on your website, what's the effect is of the different elements on your website.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Mark, let's help students in my network who are looking for ways how to grow, how to learn something new. Let's imagine you started from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills. What will you do today to learn more about content rate optimization?
So first off, if you have no experience, and probably also means that if you just start now, you don't have the resources to hire an agency like us to help you out, because you're just starting out. What I can suggest is you look into I think Baymart Institute and CXL are great websites with a lot of information about conversion rate optimization and how to create a solid website, and the pitfalls that there are. Focus on that. I think besides that, look into the different research methods that there are. And I think especially in the beginning, it's very good to look at what your users think. Like, user testing is very easy to set up. Right? There are plenty of tools that have this pool of users, and you can let them go through your site. You will see and hear what they say and what they think and what they do. And then you can see, hey, wait, they are clicking on that thing, but it's not a button, it's not clickable, but they think it is. I should fix that. Or they say, I don't know when it will arrive. If I order this, how long should I wait? I need to add the delivery time here. Like, these simple things that you often miss yourself, they will highlight that, and that is already a great way. Like, start with qualitative research, and it's not even that complicated to do these kind of things. Start with surveys to learn, and once you grow bigger, you can use data and tracking and all that stuff to get your quantitative data. But use these insights to see if you're on the right track and what you can improve.
Yeah, awesome. And Mark, the final question about the future. Can you forecast the future? Because many things are coming, metaverse, augmented reality. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how it looks, because I have no crystal ball. If I have, probably the first thing that I can do just to buy a lottery ticket, it's enough. But anyway, your predictions about the future. What companies need to do today to adapt to this future?
Yeah, I think I don't see anything happening right now that would change things drastically. I think if there's something that is going to change the future, it will be something new. Of course, they are now working on buying stuff via TVs and stuff. I don't necessarily see that working right away. I think what will happen now is that mobile is still increasing, and 5 years ago I was like, more people go on mobile, and at some point that will stop or it reaches maximum. But no, still more and more people go on mobile, and that is just a trend that will for now continue. So that's going to be very important to optimize for that device. And for the rest, I think that people are going to look more and more for something that is unique. I think a trend will be that websites and store owners will start working with niches. They will find something specific, not cater to the masses, because there's so much competition. No, we are going to focus on people that, I'm a furniture store, and I'm going to focus on people with that certain income that they have, or they love this certain style particularly, or I'm focusing on people that are vegan, or I'm going to focus on people that they value human rights, and our products are being sourced from sustainable resources and countries that support human rights. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. You get more and more of these niches that websites will focus on, because that is a way to really have a targeted content and a targeted audience with very relevant product and content. It will also make it much more easier to write copy that resonates with your audience, because it's very specific about things that they value. I think that's where it will go to.
Nice. Love it. Mark, it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. Tell our audience the best way how to reach out to you, how to learn more about you, how to follow you.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn with Marc Uitterhoeve. There won't be many with his last name. And that's where I'm mainly at. You can also reach me by email, mark@dexter.agency, if you have any questions about that. And we also have a website, which is dexter.agency. There's no .com, there's just dexter.agency, where you can see more about us and schedule a call with me as well if you want to know more. And I will always give you a reply.
Okay, nice. Guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. A big pleasure. Love it. So
thank you very much for having me. Yeah,
thanks,
I love
guy.
it.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening, watching us. It's so valuable, and see you next time.
Thank you.